A while back, Razer invited me to the store in London to showcase this, the Razer Deathadder V4 Pro, the next generation version of the flagship mouse. Okay, opening it up and there it is. Usually there's something, literally like any additional packaging material or anything, but no, here you just get the mouse. And even though I already used it, I'm still blown away by how light this thing is. They've managed to make this just 56 grams, which is a couple of grams lighter than the V3, but I have no idea what kind of psycho you have to be to notice the difference of those few grams. Well, I guess I know. An esports pro. They spend so much representation at the Razer store just talking about how they've worked with all of these various esports legends, making sure this mouse is just right. And in fact, this thing was actually already used in tournaments, given how Nico, the CS2 Pro for currently Team Falcons, actually already used a prototype version of it that was covered in this weird camo, and they did actually also showcase that at the Razer store. Obviously, it's not just the weight, but it's also the ergonomics that the pros want, and it is made specifically to sit so comfortably in your hand. It is honestly, I don't know how to describe it other than just very, very comfortable. It's just one of those things which you kind of have to feel it to understand. Next, we should talk about this half sphere right here, which is actually how you connect it up to your PC. Naturally, you can run it wired or wireless. However, if you are running it wirelessly, to ensure you have absolutely no issues, no obstructions between the mouse and the dongle, this right here is how they ensure that. So instead of having a dongle you plug into the back of your motherboard, you put this on your desk, then run, which I assume to be, yep, there it is, there's the included cable. You run this into your PC and it communicates with this rather than with the back of your motherboard. There's also 3 lights at the very front which aren't labeled in any way, that they can be customized, and by default they do show you the battery levels, signal quality, and also the current polling rate of the mouse. And speaking of, the polling rate on this thing has actually been increased to 8,000 Hertz. Again, I have no idea how crazy you have to be to actually notice that, but hey, there are some people who like it out there. On the side, you have 2 additional buttons, which you can set to be whatever you like. You can do that via the Razer Synapse software. And they even found ways to try and innovate side buttons on the mouse, given how they are spaced out, which they say is going to help you a lot when it comes to preventing misclicking. The main buttons themselves are still really nice to click, even if the sound is kind of weird. Like, I haven't heard a mouse with that kind of sound yet, so it is going to take some getting used to. And of course, like a V3, it does use optical switches. They also change how the wheel works, especially when it comes to the clicking. They had a lot of issues with people, for example, binding some kind of function in game to the middle click and then it like firing or misfiring when it was triggered. So by using this brand new optical switch, hopefully that's not going to happen anymore. Then there's of course the battery life. They claim that it can do up to 150 hours. However, of course, a large part of that is going to be the polling rate. And if it's set to a maximum of 8,000 Hertz, that is going to hurt the battery life. When it comes to the sensor itself, they're using a next gen 45K optical sensor, which again, there's probably at least 1 or 2 people who will notice a difference in that. Okay, what else do we actually have in here? Let's take a look. Apart from just your regular documentation, where we have this little note at the very front, and also a rundown of what I was just talking about when it comes to the various indicator lights on the wireless dongle. And you have all of the additional stuff you could ever care about here, plus of course some Razer stickers, and then it comes with some additional grips you can put on the mouse just to make it even more comfortable. Even I have to appreciate exactly how nice and comfortable it is to hold and how much innovation has actually gone into every single little aspect of it. Though obviously all of that innovation is going to cost you, and it's going to cost you a lot, because this mouse right here, it is going to cost you $170, which is a price that most people will not be able to justify. And I could sit here and tell you exactly how comfortable it is and how many of these features are gonna maybe make you a better gamer, but most people just won't be able to afford it anyway. It is just there for the few pros that are gonna need it and all of its features, and for the wannabe pros who want to invest in the future potential career in esports. For the rest of us, it is just completely not worth it unless you really just like the shape and feel of it. And to be fair, now that I actually have been using it a bit for this video, I kind of do. I may actually switch over to daily driving this thing. Now Razer are actually sending me a V3 to compare to this right here. However, it hasn't arrived by the time I have to record this for the embargo date. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss when our comparisons will be going live. And if you want to get this yourself, then our Amazon links to it will be down in the video description below, where you're going to find our Patreon, because even a single dollar a month truly goes a long way. Plus huge thanks to Gavin Burns, Justin Rage, Ella Vroniak, Badr Voka, Patrick Harrison, Not a Pseudonym, Nick Sumner, and Shane Allcraft. But anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.